It's that time again, Don.
Oh,
Ladies
boy.
and gentlemen, welcome to the Square Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. The man on my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist, if you will, from the Twitterverse. And he's beaten down. He's been beaten down all weekend by the
today.
neckbeards.
No, this weekend I was not even online. I feel like hammered shit, pal, but I'm here.
They're just poking you with sticks, pal. Poking you with
Well-
sticks. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Tales from the Dark Side. We're going to be talking about the latest rumors in pro wrestling right now. And Don's got the big one, the hot rumor.
Yep. So first off, I want to do some corrections from Thursday's show.
Yes.
We covered the Dark Side of the Ring. I was probably 10 to 15 minutes late getting into it. I don't ever look at the titles of the shows I'm watching. I just get into it and see if it tells me the story, right? So that's sort of where I was on Dark Side of the Ring. The way they were telling the story when I got in, I thought it was about Arn Anderson. The way it closed, I thought it was about the downfall of Vince McMahon. Nowhere in between did I think that was actually about Black Saturday when the WWF showed up on Georgia's channel for wrestling on TBS. Mm-hmm. That never even dawned on me. That took me off guard. I went back and watched it. Even in the replay that I watched, and I love Dark Side of the Ring, don't get me wrong, but this covered the actual Black Saturday, about 5 minutes of it, and then just went straight into the end. It became a hit piece on Vince McMahon at the end and burying him and how he's in trouble now and he got ousted and now he's the guy that got ousted of his own company, much like he did, Anderson back in the day. So I apologize for that, for not knowing that was what it was about. Even in retrospect, watching it back, I still didn't get the feeling that show was really about the Dark Side of the Ring, Black Saturday. I just didn't get that feeling replaying.
It was very Ole Anderson centric from the way they talked, from the way they presented it. Ole Anderson was the guy.
And then they moved over to Vince and how what he did and the power moves he did and everything that he did to take over Ole Anderson's company and how they screwed over how the Briscoes screwed him over, or allegedly, because they didn't get paid by him. So it's just a very weird Dark Side of the Ring. And I love Dark Side for the most part. They don't get it all right, but I enjoyed it. This was actually their season finale. Did you know that? This was it.
That was it? Yes.
Yeah. I did not know that. I thought they could have ended on a better note myself personally.
Went out with a whimper, pal. Went out with a whimper. They should have, in honor of Mother's Day, gone out with the Marcus Bagwell episode for the last episode.
A feel-good moment. A feel-good moment.
Yes. Mrs. Judy Bagwell shaving her son's beanbag. Right there on full display in the bathroom. Come on in. Come on in, Billy Bob. Come on in. She's just shaving a bag. Oh, how you doing, Billy Bob? How's your mom?
Of all the stories in wrestling that I thought were real or fake, Mom shaving the bag I thought had to be the lowest bunch of bullshit in the history of wrestling. Lo and behold, it's true. Oh, it's damn true, as one Kurt Angle would once say. I can't believe that was a thing. That was an option on his to-do list today. Like mine, right here, my little task manager.
Right.
Shave balls by Mom. That's not on my list ever in the history of ever. That's not an option ever. Like that's just one of those where I couldn't believe that. So
they had a strong bond, Don. Marcus Bagwell was he was breastfed up until the age of 9.
Dude, there's hillbillies that watched that show and went, "Damn, buddy, that's kind of rough." Just so I wanted to correct that. And you're right, though. They should have done a different one to close it out. It didn't have to be this one, I felt like. This one just felt like the story was breaking with Vince McMahon, right? And they tried to get a piece of that pie as they went off for their final season. That's how it felt to me was, let's take some shots at Vince McMahon. Let's get back at this guy. Let's take him down. He's an easy target right now. Let's go all in on this son of a gun.
Do you think if there's
a lot.
If there's another season for this show, Don, do you think the Vince McMahon story may debut?
The real question is, where is this going to go? Because Vice has declared bankruptcy 105 ways from Sunday. By the way, Super Chat's open. If you've got something to say, please let us know. We'd appreciate the input. Like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. I'm a little bit under the weather. It's rainy here in Central Virginia, as you can tell. But we're going to power through this. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff on my mind.
We're power potting. Potting.
I also want to give credit to Gil, who actually found the clip and sent it to me of the Ric Flair incident, where he really did say dipshit. And it sounded, he was so drunk in every clip I saw. The first one I saw, it sounded like he said Egyptian. The second clip I saw, they had put the captions up and it said Egyptian. You have to listen to it like 10 times to hear this
blasting, cranked up,
this drunken senior citizen at a Chuck E. Cheese going slam off on this poor guy, calling him a dipshit. And I don't know if you've heard or not, but there's been more news on that coming out. There's been some more stuff evolving where the manager of said restaurant came out and said, I'm proud of how we handled the situation. We've got it on in-house recorder. We're not going to release it, but we handled it the right way. And apparently this all stemmed from either he was taking too long in the bathroom or the cook was taking too long in the bathroom. So I have no idea what the hell happened to cause Ric Flair to lose his mind like that. But
crazy.
Give credit where it's due. I mean, hey, we're not perfect. We get them wrong sometimes. I want to give everybody credit that deserves credit on that one. Speaking of credit, there is brand new breaking Vince McMahon filings today that came out, where Vince McMahon is striking back. As we all know, we've talked about it here. He's screaming for arbitration. That's what he's screaming for. And here's what it says. Vince McMahon responded to allegations leveled at him by Janelle Grant and the lawsuit filed, calling the accusations meritless and the height of hypocrisy. McMahon's legal team have condemned the allegations against their client, calling it a violation of the agreement that they had signed to keep their relationship confidential and private. McMahon's lawyers have stated that Grant and her team did not disclose the messages and explicit images Miss Grant had sent to Vince McMahon, only showing his responses and editing out the actual text messages themselves. Further, McMahon added he wanted, has added to the court filing that Grant wanted McMahon to watch her have sex with others and that she wanted a physical relationship with him, while she also claimed McMahon was her best friend. The filing also alleges that Grant wanted McMahon to give her thousands of dollars in gifts and to get plastic surgery. The former WWE CEO revealed in a filing that there are no longer text messages as he deleted them after the relationship ended. So this is it's just not going to stop, man.
Not going to stop at all. He wants to change the perception, get his story out there, tell it the way he sees it, the way maybe the way it happened. Who really knows? He's trying to clean up his act a little bit so he can do business in the future. That's what I heard. He wants to do business, maybe not in the wrestling business. It's rumored that he's not going to be in the wrestling business now. He wants to go into the entertainment industry, maybe produce a movie or two. You know, be a backer for a movie, be a backer for his life story. He could do a film of his life story, shop it around. I'm sure he's got a script somewhere.
Did you know there was a script done on him to do a movie about him, but he somehow got that shut down in Hollywood so that it couldn't happen?
They were talking to Bradley Cooper about being Vince McMahon.
Yes, I read that. Yes,
actually went into talks about it. That's how gung ho this was. And then the Hulk Hogan. There's going to be a Hulk Hogan biopic.
That's still supposed to be in the works. That's still supposed to be in the works. Yes, I hear that's still in the works.
Who's playing Hogan?
Chris Hemsworth.
Thor. Absolutely, Thor. Yeah, hell of a pick. And it's supposed to be comedy drama.
What kind of lifts are you going to have to put in that man's boots to make him look like he's 6'6"? Because look, Chris Hemsworth is a big guy anyway, but he ain't 6'6".
No, I think he's 6'2".
Yeah, I think he's about 6'2".
Serves me correctly. Yeah, that was a prerequisite to be Thor. Loki, the guy who played Loki in the Thor movies, tried out for Thor first.
Yes,
he dyed his hair blonde and everything.
Yep,
and tried out for Thor, and he didn't get it. But they said, by the way, how would you like to try my boy? They went full Jim Barnett on him. Come in here, my boy. And said, we got the brother role is pretty interesting. It's the number 2 movie. Yeah. Which I love Loki.
Which, in retrospect, how perfect of a role was that for that guy? He nailed that role. He absolutely crushed it. I enjoyed him in
Right.
all of his movies. I've enjoyed the Marvel Universe until about the last 5 or 6 movies, but we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that today. Just that's the latest on Vince McMahon. He actually filed this, so here we go, man. And he filed it on 5/12 between 12:37 and 2:22. I'm sorry, I'm looking at something else. He filed it apparently earlier, either Monday morning or Monday afternoon. Mm-hmm. So this is the story that won't go away. It's just not stopping.
Do you know when this thing was filed, Don, by her originally? It was portrayed in a public perception that she was her parents died, and
yes,
she was taking care of her mother, and her mother passed away. That's where she was living. Blah 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 blah. Well, that turns out that didn't happen. Well, the parents did pass away, but she's engaged to a guy that lives in Vince's building.
There's a lot of,
and that's how they ran into one another, because the boyfriend, the fiance, lives in Vince's building, and she would sneak out and say she's going out with her girlfriends, and she wound up going upstairs to Vince's palatial estate, and then come home like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and get in bed with the fiance. This is the early stages of the relationship.
Well, here's my point on this. One of these son of a bitches is completely lying in this entire scenario, because you couldn't be on two more separate ends of the spectrum on what's being accused and what's being said in return, right? Somebody's lying their ass off, and there's somebody's telling the truth. And there's no in between, in my opinion. There's just not. It's too far of an end of the spectrum. Somebody's lying. Vince McMahon is saying that what you just said, she was going to see him at night with the fiance in the apartment. The father was not living there. He was a living assistant. So it's all kinds of crazy shit. It's still got a long way to play out. I don't think this will ever see the light of day in court myself. That's just me. I don't think you'll ever see it.
It's like the old saying goes, the old adage goes, there's 3 sides to every bad relationship. His, hers, and the truth.
That's true. That's very true.
So I think if you take a little bit of what she's got, a little bit of what he's got, what he's saying, sprinkle it all together, and that's what you come up with. I think it's just a little bit of but who, the revelations of this. Who would have thought that Vince McMahon was a scat enthusiast? Who would have thought that?
I'm not going down that roll again.
Who would have thought that? I know they had a lot of chocolate pudding matches. A lot of mud matches. It
never happened. I'm going to wait until this happens.
Maybe that was a fetish of Vince's. Maybe he likes to see that. Maybe he likes to see women dipped in soft brown.
I'm not sure. Right, stop. Enough. No. God, no. I don't need that image. In other news, Uncle Howdy faction is coming back, right?
I just saw the rumor today on Cage Side Seats. They're going to make their debut, allegedly, at the King of the Queen tournament in Saudi Arabia. That's where it's going to happen.
I know that there's a lot of people that have been watching this intently. They're very interested in what's going on. They've dropped these little clues. You forgot about this, and that. And it's a fun little thing to play. Like, if you really are involved in wrestling and you really want to know, this is a fun little, oh shit, it's an Easter egg moment if you're a big wrestling fan, right?
Right.
This latest one, they dropped a bunch of birth dates and Roman numerals when you actually went inside the code. The birth dates coincided with Dexter Lumis, Nikki Cross, Joe Gracie, and one of them is 6 days off from Eric Rowan's birthday. So that makes you wonder, maybe they got the Roman numeral wrong. Maybe they got too cute. That's pretty damn close if you ask me. Maybe somebody read it wrong. I don't know. But that's been the rumor for a while now, that these are the folks that are coming back to wrestling, that they're going to come back under the Uncle Howdy Act. So, and Bo Dallas is supposed to be the leader, correct? That's
supposedly the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six is supposed to be the name of the faction, but that's who you got. Eric Rowan. Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. He was Uncle Howdy in the past. He was, every time you saw Uncle Howdy, he was Uncle Howdy. And then Nikki Cross, Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis. Who else was mentioned?
Didn't they say that the uncle was actually the original Uncle Howdy at the beginning? That's who they said was originally behind the mask, I believe. Barry Windham was originally behind the mask. That's what's been said. That's what was said at the beginning, was that
there was
Barry Windham was behind.
When he debuted this new gimmick, Bray Wyatt, and you saw the 2 men in masks. There were 2 men. One was Uncle Howdy.
Yes.
And who was the other guy?
I honestly don't know. The one that I remember was they said that it was
They were two
Barry
uncles.
Windham was behind it. Barry Windham was behind it.
Right. Barry Windham, one of the masks was designed to look like Barry Windham. And that was the Uncle Howdy mask.
Yes.
The pencil thin, like the little,
exactly. Yes.
curled up on the end mustache, and the Southern gentleman's goatee. That mask was crafted to look like present day Barry Windham. And there was another guy. Oh, Uncle Harper. Uncle Harper was the other guy in a mask. The mask was more stylized with lines drawn on it or etched into it. You only saw Uncle Harper once, and that was a play on Luke Harper.
I don't remember.
Brody Lee. He went to AEW.
That must have been a very long, quick, gone and one and done sort of thing. I don't
one and done. Why do we need two? Damn it! This was the charge back then. Why do we need two of these guys?
I don't remember that at all. So I'm looking forward to seeing this return. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Please, God, be good. That's all I care about. Because, look, rest in peace.
I don't have a lot of faith in this.
I know. Bray Wyatt, I enjoyed him for what he was. It was always like every time he came back with a new gimmick, that was the best part of whatever it was going to be, was those first couple of showings. That's how it felt to me. And then it didn't improve. Like, it was amazing.
The operative words you mentioned were first couple of showings. Because you see it like two, 3 times. Okay, that's it. Let's move forward. But it's not moving forward. It's the same shit. Like you just were about to say.
Do you think the fans really care that he's come back? Please like and subscribe. Super Chat's open. You got something to say, let us know. $1 or whatever. Let us know what you got to say. Like and subscribe. We're going to be here for about the next hour. We got a lot of wrestling to cover in that quick hour. But do you think fans are legitimately curious or are wanting to see this return? I'm curious. I don't know that I want it to be a mainstay when it comes back.
A lot of people feel just like you stated, just like you said how you feel. I want to see what it looks like, but it doesn't need to be on my TV every week. Now, if you take in consideration, Bo Dallas didn't set the world on fire when he was Bo Dallas.
Nope.
Not at all. Vince didn't like him whatsoever. And he wasn't exactly a large guy. He's about the same size right now, I would say, as who would you compare his build to on the present roster?
I don't know, but you want to know what I compare it to? Bray Wyatt was like if you had a fire going in the backyard and some asshole throws a cup of gasoline on it. That was Bray Wyatt. When he came back, it was always full of fire. It went to the ceiling, and then it just went back to a normal simmer.
Right.
Bo Dallas is more like the gas pilot that you leave on all the time. It's just sort of there.
It's just not going to catch fire.
Yeah,
no matter what you do,
but
if you keep on breathing it in, you're going to fall asleep.
Yes, that's about it.
Yes.
That's how I see Bo Dallas.
If you he had a good gimmick as a motivational speaker in NXT.
Yeah, he did.
When he won the belt, he said, "I told you all." Very, very Terry Funkish in his voice. I told you all that if you just
I told you, son of a bitches, to hit the ropes, and you're hitting it like a bunch of pansy-ass fairies.
He didn't say it exactly like that.
I got a sick horse.
Say this for me: if you want to achieve your dreams, all you got to do is believe. Say it like that.
Oh God, I'm not doing that. But I do. If
you want to achieve your dreams, all you have to do is believe. And he threw his thumb up in the air.
I do got something later though, so I'm excited to talk about this. There's one more little nugget going around the internet that I wasn't on social media a lot this past week. It was Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day weekend, everybody that has got a mom. Spent time with your mom, is a mom.
To all the mothers.
Yes, to all the mothers. My wife, I went and saw my mom. We had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Mother, what'd you say? Hey now. Hey now. Ooh. Anyway, there's a rumor that went around this weekend, and it caught fire, that one Mr. Tony Khan is tentatively booking himself in a match in England. That was at Wembley. That was the rumors that were going around this weekend. Mm-hmm. And it was like a whisper among the internet wrestling community. I saw it. I was like, well, what the hell is this? And it kept going and it kept going. And apparently it got so big that Dave Meltzer on his show came out and said there's no truth to him being in the ring. It's absolutely not going to happen. This is a total fabrication, which probably means this shit's really going to happen. It probably means this is absolutely something he wants to book himself in.
Yep.
And it makes sense to me because every money mark that you ever see in the history of wrestling always falls into the same trap. They
can't resist it, Don.
They can't
resist.
They see themselves as a great wrestler in the ring. They see themselves as an entertainer in some way, some fashion. That's how they see themselves.
Right.
Tony Khan is about as interesting as my pen. That's it. That's Tony Khan's personality. It'll write some shit. Now it won't. That's what he does. That's what he is.
You're wrong about that. He can't write anything.
Well, that's true too. He can write words. They just don't make any sense when you put them together and put them on TV. That's what he does. So I couldn't believe this got such a rumor going that Dave Meltzer had to white knight this shit and have it on his Observer Radio and denounce that this was an idea.
And you told me on the phone about this over the weekend, and I'm going, what? I've never seen this. Where'd you see this? What? So I was trying to scour Twitter for it, and I couldn't find anything. And then Meltzer took the Wrestling Observer Radio.
Yeah. His Wrestling Observer Radio, it was his cronies were on there. They were talking about it, and he talked about it. I saw some of the clips. I was kind of shocked, to be honest, that he was so adamant about knocking this out when it really was just a rumor. It was just a rumor that I saw in passing. And the next thing I know, Meltzer's out there like, there's no way this is happening. And then there was some shit about Ospreay and Meltzer and how he's working an angle with Meltzer I read about. So there's just some weird, dude, there's some weird shit going on right now in AEW, man. And I don't understand what's happening. Like they're using the internet wrestling community and they're trying to incorporate this shit, kind of like the dumbasses in WCW did with the message boards back in the day. What are you doing, man?
The problem is the EVPs write their own angles over there. People who are higher up, like Jericho and Kenny's an EVP. Someone who's just sub EVP level, they can go ahead and pitch their own angles and just go. He says, "Go ahead and do it." And the rest of the show is just strung together like 2 days before. I have to give them credit for putting a couple ads for Wednesday matches. 2 ads for Wednesday matches on Twitter yesterday. And now they're more trickled out today, which they've never done in the past. Usually Wednesday morning, hey, this was coming up with Dynamite tonight, everybody. We'll hear from Mercedes Moné.
I'm glad that you talked about this because I almost forgot about it and you just made me remember. SmackDown on Friday night, right? I'm not going to talk about the matches and get into it too deep. No, this ties
the whole SmackDown.
No.
Right now?
Hold on. Just stay with me here, Bobbles. One of the matches on Sunday night or on Friday night SmackDown was sponsored by Warner Brothers. Was sponsored by HBO Max.
Yes.
Sorry, just Max now. Just Max.
Max.
When I saw this, I was like, dude, if this isn't a red flag for the AEW diehards, if this shit hit, that there was a Max commercial sponsorship in one of their matches, that's a red flag. We have a problem here.
We can advertise for this movie, The Iron Claw, on the show to get 700,000 viewers a week, or we can farm it out to Fox, buy a little time there, it's cheap, to a show that gets sometimes 2.5 million people watching it, which is a wrestling show. Let's do it on Fox.
When I saw it, I sent you the picture. I was like, dude, check this shit out. This is crazy. And if you go back and watch SmackDown on their Titantron or their screen in the background, is the Iron Claw in between matches, every show sponsored by Max. Why? I didn't see that shit on AEW this week. I didn't see that on their screen in the background. You know what I saw? I saw, woo, energy drink while some poor schlub at a Pizza Hut was getting sent to the corner by one Ric Flair.
And 50% of the commercials are all for their own shows, their own AEW shows. Rampage, Collision, Dynamite next week, the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Half the commercials when they're for that. Their own product. Because they can't sell commercial time.
I cannot believe that Max sponsored a match on their main competitor in a contract year. And we're getting close. I want to say it's next weekend that they had initially marked down as their fall lineup for their programming, right? That's what I want to say they had tentatively marked. So I'm going to start scouring Forbes and all these other magazines to see when that's supposed to be announced. Because now I'm hearing, we're hearing Tony Khan might want to be in a match. They're trying to squash that. The Bucks are putting this whole thing to bed. They're a shit show. The ratings are just getting worse. And now you've got your owning company with their $7 shitty stock sponsoring a match on the competition. Can you imagine if they did that shit on ESPN? They would have noticed that immediately.
Exactly.
This NHL game is sponsored by Warner Brothers Discovery.
Well, you know what's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow are the TV upfronts, where it's like a little media expo.
So is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow. That's what they said.
Okay.
It's tomorrow. And there's been nothing announced for an AEW Warner Brothers Discovery partnership going forward. Nothing's been announced. Hey, we signed up for 3 more years, everybody. These crazy kids. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
No.
Nothing. Radio silence. And if it was any good news,
they'd be
the company
crowing.
look good, you would see him flying a Zeppelin across your city with a painted on the side. We're back, bitches. Yeah. And they would have that painted on there. And it would be white dust flying out of the back of the Zeppelin.
Dude, they have a Zeppelin. It's the Hindenburg. It's coming down now.
Yes.
The Hindenburg is crashing on the front lawn right now. It feels like the Big Lebowski moment. Nothing is fucked. The plane has crashed into the goddamn mountain. That's how it feels right now. That's where we are at AEW. Tony Khan wants a match. They're trying to talk him into one, and Dave Meltzer's out there peacocking his ass off. Look over here. Nothing to see here. You guys don't know anything about this. I'm not going to be surprised if this happens. I'm really not. Did you want to cover SmackDown real quick? Because I don't have a lot to say about it because 2.1 million people watch this shit, and I can understand why nobody watched it. It was dull, it was boring, and it was not entertaining at all. They have got to figure out a way to give these characters storylines that are compelling. You've got Cody Rhodes out there in the opening segment with Jake Paul. That's your opening segment. And
you know what? That was not Jake Paul, Logan Paul, of course. But that blindsided me. I didn't expect that.
I didn't either.
I didn't expect that. I thought that was great. We started off on a high note.
I'm not saying that wasn't good. What I'm saying though is after that, I got one more thing that I really gave a shit about. That's the damn truth.
The Jay Cargill match that we talked about.
Which turns out, by the way, she can actually do a few things when she's in with the pro that knows what she's doing. There's no communication blockage. That was a hell of an entertaining match. My wife, who can't stand her, don't ask me why, but she can't, even admitted that was a good match. Like, she put on a show. I enjoyed that.
Piper Niven is a top-notch talent. She was a top-notch talent when she was at NXT UK. And when that folded, they brought her in as, unfortunately, Dewdrop. But
it dropped all right, pal.
It dropped, pal. But she's a top-notch wrestler, man. I've seen her do, the moonsaults, cartwheels. She can do it all. But they want her to wrestle like a big girl. So, and she's a big girl. No fault of her own. I mean, I'm not throwing any shade towards her or anything like that.
I was impressed with it. I liked the match. I was entertained. And then the rest of the show, the Randy Orton show to close out the match, you knew you were going to see a competitive professional wrestling match. That was exactly what I thought it was going to be. And, it's sad that I say that because it's just gotten to where now AJ Styles is just going to give you a good quality match every time. You just sort of expect it out of the guy. And he really does deserve more credit than that.
Right.
He's a great professional wrestler. He was a great professional wrestler 10 years ago. He still is today. So that was exactly what I thought it was going to be. That pretty much covered SmackDown. But there were a couple of other things going on that we have got to catch up on. There was the Harley Race Darkside of the Ring.
Oh, hang on a second. I want to say something. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Everybody can hear me out there in the chat room?
I would hope so.
You remember when I talked to you on the phone about the problem with the dog, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My wife's going nuts out there with the dogs.
Oh, man.
Bananas with the dogs out there. I heard when we were talking about SmackDown, I heard this dog going, rah, 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 rah. So I grabbed the phone and texted my wife. Is Ava okay? Ava's my 11-year-old diabetic blind husky. And she, when I went to the grocery store today, I went to Walmart. And should I tell this story?
Yeah, go ahead.
My wife has our nightstands in her bedroom are like cabinets. There's a door, glass door, where you can open it up, put shit in it, close it up, whatever you want to put in there. Shoes, phones, whatever, chargers.
Yeah, we get it. It's a door. But that's not what she puts in there.
She puts in, whatever snack she's going to eat while she's
edibles.
Like edibles, marijuana edibles. And there were 3 packages in there.
And her chips.
The dogs ate an entire box of graham crackers, an entire bag, the party size, of cheddar and sour cream potato chips. And Bubba the Wonder Dog, who is a mini husky, he's an Alaskan Klekai, and the diabetic dog, who happened to be laying there in the bedroom on her bed. She walked over and opened up the cabinet, and they had a feast. There were 6 edibles amongst 3 different packages, and they ate all 6. I don't know.
There ain't now, pal.
I can only speculate who had the most, because my 11-year-old diabetic blind husky greeted me at the door like a newborn baby calf, slipping and sliding all over the place. And I didn't think anything of it. I let them all go outside. And her and Bubba were like,
I think I gotta pee, but I'm not sure, man.
She went down the steps like old St. Nick's, just sliding right on down. And I'm saying, Jesus Christ, what is she doing? And she's walking like the floor is lava. And I'm going, oh, this is it. She's had a fucking stroke. She's had a stroke. This is it. The dog is going to die. I got to go to the shed and get the goddamn shovel.
No,
and then I
that's
walked,
not what happened.
Then I said, I did everything I had to do. I unpacked everything, put it all away, the groceries. They're outside doing their business. She won't come in. Bubba the Wonder Dog just sitting on the deck going,
zoned out into space. He is in another realm of reality right now. He is chasing rabbits in his head. He is sure of it.
Absolutely. He's sitting there like Michael J. Fox trying to watch a tennis match. So I said, screw this. I'm going to go and change my clothes. Put my comfy clothes on, my podcasting clothes. And I go and look in the bathroom. Look in the bedroom and see the carnage. Then I realized what happened.
So
clean it all up, clean it all up. And I come out. I said, come on, Ava. Come on. And she's like, and she finally got up. I had to guide her into the house, help her up 3 steps. And she just laid on the rug in the kitchen.
And she's going to be there until tomorrow. You will not see this dog move until about 5 a.m. She is in a happy place right now. You just let her be.
She's been on the rug in the kitchen for 3 hours. 3 hours. Didn't move. I gave her a couple biscuits. Gave her a couple milk bone treats that they like. And she ate them, but it's like just crumbs falling out of her mouth. Like, she looked like Will Ferrell in
Wedding Crashers.
No, what's a college movie?
Yeah, Wedding Crashers. I'm sorry. No, sorry. Oh shit. Old
school. She looked like
You're crazy, man.
You're crazy, man. You just took 15 cc's animal trank right in the neck. Oh man, that was it. Done.
I'm sorry about your night. It is that's a tough way to be. So
we're talking SmackDown, and I can hear through the microphone because I got the earbuds. I hear through the microphone from the hallway right on the other side of me that the wife is going ballistic, and the dog's going.
Like and subscribe. Super chats are open if you want to ask about the wild ass high party that Johnny Bottles threw his dogs. I know what he did. He left that out on purpose to make sure the dogs would have a good time when he was gone.
Exactly.
Bottles, in all honesty, I hope they feel better, pal, because that's a scary situation when you don't know what your diabetic dog has gotten into.
Exactly. You just come out and see if they're still breathing, and you hope for the best.
Right.
I had one dog actually ate my vape pen. My vape pen. It was just brand new. Took a couple tokes off of it. Ate the vape pen, broke the glass, and drank all the oil that was inside the vape. We
got to talk some Darkside now because I want to talk about Harley Race. Because Harley Race, I could actually do a pretty. I told that motherfucker down at the gym, you tell that son of a bitch Vince if he comes back in Kansas City, I'll burn the goddamn ring to the ground. Where's Hogan? I could do a pretty good Harley Race if you didn't know. You son of a bitch, Flair. I'm here to tell you my name's Harley Race. Thank you, Larry. He just rides the stimmy tax.
What's the stimmy tax?
I don't know. I thought you might know. I think it's something you give him a shot to give him some adrenaline going. He'll have to explain that to us.
Yes.
Just give the goddamn dog a steroid. Watch him go, pal.
Throw the dog in the car. Let's go.
I was excited to talk about this episode because Harley Race was my dad's favorite wrestler. I only knew of Harley Race when he was in the WWE. WWF. That's the only time I knew of Harley Race.
Right here. Same way.
I had never seen him travel. I had never seen him do anything before I saw him in the WWF as King Harley Race. That's when I first knew him. If you have any inclination to know what oh shit, I don't know what Larry just told us to get, but this is probably not going to be good for PG viewing. Just like WWE television right now, it's getting away from PG. I'm just going to say that now.
They dropped an asshole bomb right there in the first.
Oh, I'm gonna get there. I can't wait to talk about it. But Harley Race, guys, if you don't know what old school wrestling was, if you don't know what a tough guy image was all about, go watch this episode on Harley Race. This dude, it opened up with saying, I've been shot at, I was stabbed, I was also punched in the neck. I am the real heavyweight champion of the world. Toughest son of a bitch I think that might have ever lived in wrestling. And I don't say that, you know, without the facts back it up. Here's what they gave a rundown of the shit in his body to start this. He had 2 rods and 8 screws in his back. He had an artificial hip, 4 screws in his right knee, 2 braces and 12 pins in his left forearm. The guy was a walking pinata cushion. There was nothing else you could say about this guy. He was as tough as they get. He had a head butt finisher off the top rope. Do you know what that shit does to your body over time? Coming up to your spine? And you're not always missing that headbutt. You're connecting that shit sometimes. Absolutely. He was as tough as it got, man. And like I said, I only saw him in the 80s and 90s, but in the 80s, he was in his 40s, I want to say.
Yeah.
AJ Styles is in his 40s. That's a different age of 40, man.
Yeah, like,
it was hard back then. And then when you hear about what he went through to get there, it's crazy as hell.
If you look at Harley, that's all unfiltered Marlboros, beer, Jack Daniels, and chaw. That's what that is. If you look at AJ Styles, that's all testosterone replacement therapy, working out like a fiend. Did Harley Race ever work out? Yes. Did Harley Race ever work out?
No, he was just a naturally big guy. Naturally big guy.
I remember when I first saw him with the scar in WWE, when he had to get that abdominal surgery.
Yeah, and they talked about that.
Abdominal surgery, yes. And then after that, they put him in the singlet. The like the Lawler type singlet.
Yes. The Andre the Giant gear,
man. Yeah.
They talked about how he grew up in Missouri on a farm. He was a poor kid. He was dirt poor, which a lot of these guys are back then, right? If you were in the Midwest in that time frame in the 40s and 50s, you probably grew up pretty damn poor. It talked about his best friend told this story, so I know it's real. You hear some Harley Race whoppers, man, and I'm going to tell one that I heard, that they all turn out to be real later. The principal, him and his buddy skipped school. Mm-hmm. And out of nowhere, Harley Race goes, let's wrestle for a while. And his friend's like, oh, shit, here he goes again. Because apparently this was Harley Race's thing. Let's wrestle. Oh, shit, here we go. Harley Race is going to wind me up like a pretzel. So they talked about that. They get to school the next day. The principal calls them in, and says, "Why did you miss school yesterday?" And Harley said, "It looked like a good day to wrestle." The principal got up and slapped Harley Race across the face for being a smartass. Harley Race knocked him out and walked out the door. The friend was there and said, "This shit happened." He knocked the principal out. That was his last day of school. He was done.
What grade is this?
He was 14 years old.
14 years old. Okay.
Imagine being 14 years old and knocked out a grown man.
Good Lord.
After that, it said he left home and he got a job. And I'm just trying, because this is the history I didn't know about him. So if you guys think it's terrible, let me know. We'll move on. But I just want to give a quick rundown because this is the history of Harley I didn't know about, right?
Back then, dude, there were characters out there. All those guys were characters. And Harley Race is a character. And probably 10, 15 years from now, maybe we'll find out about characters from the 2000s. You know what I mean? Like guys who dig some crazy shit out there on the streets. Like Hardcore Holly, who's just a bad Haku. They still talk about stories from Haku to this day. And that man's 63 years old.
And still scary as shit. I wouldn't fight him today.
Scary. No,
I'm not fighting that guy.
Not at all.
By the way, like and subscribe. If you got a comment, got a question, do it in the super chat. We'll be glad to do it.
Hit the bell for notifications.
Get that notification.
In case we have a spur of the moment show.
Spur of the moment, as some people say.
You'll know when we're coming. Ooh.
Ooh.
See what I did there?
I did. Do you want to know where he got his farm job at when he left?
Where?
The Zabisco farm. That's where he started getting trained.
Worked for Stanislaus Zabisco.
He got trained there. And after there, he joined the circus no shit as a traveling guy. And if you don't know how tough this was back in the day, they said he was either the guy in the ring that would beat the local guy, or was the guy coming in to put a show on to show it could be done, to get the marks to give their money. Like, that's what they were looking to do in this whole thing. This is crazy to me because he was not even 17 years old and was fighting grown men. They talked about how that's when he invented the headbutt, because he'd be in these fights and just bam, bitch, lights out, see you tomorrow. That was his go-to move, was the headbutt. That's when he started this shit. I mean, it's just crazy to hear about some 16-year-old kid. He got his big break against, toting around Happy Humphrey. I don't know if you know about Happy Humphrey or not.
Who was that?
Big, fat bastard that weighed 700 pounds in his wrestling day. He was in charge. He, pronouns, pal. Harley Race was in charge of getting him to the next town for the next show and cleaning him off after the matches, and had to mop him down with a mop, a literal mop, because that's the only way you could clean this big bastard. 700 pounds. They had to have a custom Cadillac made for this guy. He had to get up in the crack of his ass with this mop to clean the shit out. This is a real thing.
Oh. What about the bathroom? Was it like an Andre the Giant kind of thing? Or
they talked about how he broke, I've read stories about this guy. He broke toilets in his heyday. Like, he would sit on a toilet and that was it. And they would have to clean the porcelain out of his ass.
That was it. I like
that was it.
And that was it. You didn't see what happened. It's just the seat broke, the whole toilet cracked in little pieces. What happened?
This is the kind of shit that people don't know happened back in the day, that I've read all these books on. I studied a bunch of history. I know, Gil has read a lot of history.
He means it when he says it. He means it when he says it. He knows a lot about this old time stuff.
Every now and then Gil will turn me on to a book and I'll be like, oh shit, all right, I got to read that. Anyway, the guy got married at 17. He's going pro now. This is where everything went wrong in his life, right? If you don't know about Harley Race, I don't want to go down this whole rabbit hole of it. I'm going to get to the end here real quick. Harley Race was 17 and got married. He was doing 30 miles an hour in a snowstorm. 30 miles an hour in a snowstorm. A truck jackknifes in front of him. As the truck's coming at him, he tries to avoid it. His bride, who is pregnant with their child, dies instantly. His leg is mangled in this wreck, and he lives. The bride dies, he lives. People that don't know the history of Harley Race, the dude had some traumatic shit happen to him, man. Like, we talk about it in today's society. You should see a shrink. This dude should have had about 3 shrinks for the life this guy lived.
Right.
The
early in his life,
woman died. He was doing 30 miles an hour. 30.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't speeding. He wasn't driving like a maniac. Mm-hmm. And this is what happened as a result. From then on, wherever Harley Race went, he was doing 100 miles an hour to the next town because they asked him, why do you go so fast? His response was, I watched my wife die at 30. The speed's got shit to do with it. Leave me the hell alone. Open my next beer. That was Harley Race, man. He broke his leg. He had to go into this crazy shit. They went through rehab. Long story short, Harley Race ended up being an 8-time world champion. He went to the WWF in the end, and that's how I remember him. I mean, I don't want to drag this out. Went to the WCW. He had a tragic boating accident where, if you didn't know this story, I'll just run this down real quick too. He had been drinking all day. Imagine that. Went out on the goddamn boat at night. And some idiot couple was out there in their boat in the middle of the lake with no lights on. And his boat collided with their boat, and it was a disaster. They said he drugged their 2 bodies to shore to save them. And she ended up suing him because she broke both their legs and was still in a wheelchair 2 years later. And because he was drunk, he was found liable for $250,000. And that's pretty much sums up his career, man. He came back with Vader. There's stories about him and Vader traveling. And if Vader did not have a beer open when he had his beer drunk, he was catching one across the backside of his head. And there are witnesses that saw this. Where's my damn beer, kid? That's what he was. Harley Race, you know, through the ups and downs, that's who he was.
Harley Race was fantastic.
There is also a story that has never been proven to be true, but he showed up when Vince McMahon showed up in his territory to run a show in Kansas City. Because Harley Race had run Kansas City. That was his town. Vince McMahon was running a show with his champion, Hulk Hogan. Harley Race showed up to the show with a gun looking for Hogan. Now, there's rumors out there that he found him, that he didn't find him. What's been said over and over again was he tried to burn the ring to the ground in front of everyone. God damn, tell him to get out of my town. Just a crazy bastard, and I'll leave on this note before we get into some other topics. Harley Race was allegedly pulled over by a local sheriff.
Okay.
With his pants down to his knees.
What town is this?
I don't,
okay.
Dude, it was the Midwest.
Just on the road. On the road.
Oh, shit, you took it out. I got it. Thank you, Gil. Appreciate that, brother. Drink for the working man. There is a story that came out, and if you don't know about it, it's about a little person. Somebody hold on to your seats. Allegedly, the local sheriff pulls over Harley Race. If you don't understand how big Harley Race was in this era, I don't know what to tell you. If you were in Kansas, Missouri, the South, any of those territories, you knew who Harley Race was. You just knew. The sheriff pulls over Harley Race. There is a little person buck necking his lap. His pants are down to his ankles. And a beer in his right hand and a smoke in the other. And he's driving with the right hand. And the sheriff goes, well, damn, Harley, what the hell are you doing? He said, what's it look like I'm doing? And the sheriff was so put off. He said, get the hell down the road. Just walked away. Just walked away from the entire incident. He was like, that's it. Nah. If he kills himself and the little person, so be it. I'm not getting involved in any of this shit. Harley Race allegedly had a little person in his lap doing the nasty as he's doing 100 miles an hour, drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette. I'm not saying this is cool. There we go. There it is.
I give this anecdote 1 White Castle slider and 1 32-ounce bottle of Jergens.
Can you imagine today?
Great story.
That story getting out?
Dude, they need to make a Harley Race biography, film biography. This the wrestling wrestling guys from, I don't want to say superstars because they weren't all superstars. Some of the best characters weren't big stars. The old wrestlers of the past, man, they're a treasure trove of biographical films. I mean, why not a Harley Race story? Why not a Kurt Angle story?
Can you imagine the shit you'd uncover if you did Harley Race?
It might have to be like a 13 episode miniseries.
They'd have to work on making it non-NC-17, to be honest. What the hell do you want?
What do you think I'm doing? What's it look like I'm doing? I'm banging a midget. Look at me.
You want to see my title? She's wearing it, pal. It's just, when I heard this story, man, I was like, wow, that's, hey, bravo. If that was his life, the guy went out, wanted to do what he wanted to do. I enjoyed it. I enjoy the stories about the guy. I enjoy those old school. Man.
17 years old, lost everything. And he probably figured, screw it. I'm living. I don't have a lot of years left, but I'm going to get real weird with it. Didn't Frank Reynolds say that? It's always sunny in Philadelphia. I don't have a lot of years left, but I'm going to get real weird with it.
By the way, like and subscribe. If you've got anything to add, you want to talk about something, let us know. Add it in the comments.
Got a funny joke? Give us a few bucks.
If there's something you want to know about, let us know, because there is something going on in the world called Raw. And I want to talk about CM Punk Thursday. Because there's some news breaking about him. I don't know if you've seen that, but
well, the guy who broke it was Bubbles Meltzer.
Well, no. It's not even Meltzer. It's we've sort of had this date circled for a while. You and I have. Mm-hmm. What date have we had circled for a while?
I believe it was SummerSlam, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've had that circle for a while. It sort of fits.
SummerSlam.
He's out of his jack, so. Mm-hmm. It sort of fits that that's when he's going to come back to have his big showdown, right?
Well, I think he may be at Clash of the Castle, because that's going to be a Drew McIntyre showcase.
It's going to be a Drew McIntyre versus
Damian Priest,
and he's going to screw him again.
And that's SummerSlam.
So we agree there, right, Bottles? We both have that same mindset. That's what's going to go down at Clash of the Castle. He's going to have his moment again, and he's going to get screwed at the last second. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine the fans' outrage if this is an old-fashioned DQ screw job?
How long do you think it's going to take before McIntyre is running Judgment Day?
Ooh.
What's your time frame on that? I think 2 months. Right after Clash of the Castle, I think they're going to interfere to help him out.
I think you might see that before. I think you'll see it at SummerSlam. I think that's when you're going to see that faction form to have an old-fashioned Survivor Series throwdown. That's what I think you might see.
Rhea's been out for, what, a month and a half now?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
How long did they say she's going to be out?
They never really said, but I would bet on July on her return.
It's all falling into place.
SummerSlam's looking to be pretty big. It's looking to be a special show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like we said, like and subscribe. Let's talk about Raw real quick. I don't want to cover this in depth, but here's what I thought. I gave Raw a B+ on my scale. I thought it was a really good show. It was a hell of a lot better than SmackDown, in my opinion. I enjoyed what I saw for the most part. Nothing was out of place. It all sort of fit. I don't know why. Oh, and by the way, we're going to talk about this. You can tell they're getting out of the PG era of Raw. You can tell every show they're getting a little bit further and further away, and it started with the opening segment. Mm-hmm. Did you like Drew McIntyre coming through the audience, coming through the entire backstage? I thought that was like earlier in the show. Turns out that shit was live. That was how they were opening the show. I was like, oh, shit, this is cool as hell.
This is not Kevin Dunn's WWE anymore. This is state-of-the-art TV technology and a new eye looking at framing these shots, doing things experimental. You know, not just moving the camera, zooming in and out, shaking it all around. Totally experimental. And have you noticed they cut back on all the computer-generated graphics?
Yes, thank God. You don't need that shit. You don't need
all that. Someone sold a bill of goods to Vince. Hey, we could do this.
You got a picture of him shitting on their head? I could use that.
I want a flaming turd coming across the crowd, pal.
Call it a shit rocket.
Shit rocket. How much corn do you want in that, Mr. McMahon?
At
Just
least
2, pal.
At least 3 cornholes.
3 corns.
Anyway, this was a great way to start the show. I enjoyed it. And then Damian Priest came out. And this is why I loved how this show started. You gave me your champion open with the guy that's got the biggest bitch for not having the title and said, look in the mirror, you're to blame, you're the asshole. And I went,
right.
Ooh. Oh, that was new. Then you had some other shit with him later that I just was not big on. But this was the opening segment, got my attention. I enjoyed this. I thought it was a really way to get it going. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I thought they finally showcased Damian Priest. You know, on a par with someone who's a big star. I'm not talking about Cody Rhodes. I'm talking about, Cody Rhodes is a big star, and he fought him at the last pay-per-view. But it was a slow build to that. Like, he's just offhanded. No, not Cody Rhodes. Jay Uso, I mean.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Jay Uso. Why don't you correct me when I say Cody Rhodes?
Because I'm just going to let you figure it out.
Jay Uso. And that was when he beat Jay Uso. I guess it was a reign affirming moment. His first successful title defense. Why not? Great.
Why not? Yeah. Did you
come
like
out there with one of the big boys? Come out with one of the big boys. They're building right now to clash at the castle.
This is what I was talking about.
Three-way.
Yeah, no way.
It might be a 2-way.
No way. This is what I was going to say too. I enjoy the fact that it's not just one angle that they're caught in. There's several different ways you can go in this storyline and catapult off to the next one if this shit don't work.
A lot of moving parts. That's why I thought after watching this show, Don, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking to myself, they need another big angle going on, threading through this show, just like the Judgment Day angle is threading through the upper card. They need a lower to mid card angle threading through that. I'm not talking about the King of the Ring. Who's going to be the king or queen of the ring? I'm talking about something else.
We know who's going to do that. We know that. We have
Who's going to do that? Who's going to do that?
You know it's Gunther. It's his time. He's coming.
King of the Ring?
Yeah, he's coming. That's going to be the guy that unseats Cody Rhodes, I think, when it's all said and done.
I heard the rumor, what they're thinking about doing, and this is strictly a rumor, folks. Jey Uso winning the Raw King of the Ring to face Tama Tonga.
Well, it's the same King of the Ring tournament, from what I understand.
Yes, so a guy from Raw will face a guy from SmackDown in the finals at Saudi Arabia, and that will be the King of the Ring.
I will break my goddamn remote if they put Jey Uso in the final of this shit. That'll be one PLE I will not watch.
It needs to be Gunther.
It's got to be Gunther.
He's got bragging rights as King of the Ring.
He's over. He's over.
Absolutely.
Why you want to ruin my damn mood, Johnny? This bullshit. Where's something to throw?
Through your magic windows. Right through it.
Oh, God. Hanging out with you makes me feel better. I'll just say that much. I felt like shit. This has been fun.
Thank you.
Damage Control had a backstage segment. Did you see that? I enjoyed that. They're getting into it backstage. Bitches got beat. Yes. I thought that was great.
I loved online today all the people remarking about how beautiful Dakota Kai looks. Boy, I would love to have her as my girlfriend. I tell you what, I can make her happy. I could do this, I could do that, blah, blah, blah. And I wrote, yeah, no, she's in a romantic relationship with Shayna Baszler. You do realize that, don't you?
I don't even care. Like, why is that a thing coming out of somebody's mouth? You neck beard breathing pieces of shit, Mountain Dew sipping, Cheeto sniffing, crotch grabbing, basement dwelling dweebs.
It wasn't one person, Don. It was.
I know, but it's all of them. It's the 50, lot of them.
60, all these different tweets about how beautiful Dakota Kai is. And I give her credit. She's a very good-looking girl with all the makeup that she applies. She's 36 years old. I don't care about Dakota Kai. Everything she does in the ring looks soft. It looks like you're being hit with a Kleenex.
Which is why
it's just garbage, man.
Garbage. Which is why this match made sense to me.
She's a waif. She's a waif, and she's got the Japanese anime schoolgirl look to her, which fits right in with the whole Damage Control ambiance or design. The look, aura. Very good, Don. Very good. The aura.
Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. If you got something to say, put a little change in the change box. We'll get into it. Look, Io Sky won, but the thing to me was they made Shayna look tough, right? It was a match that I could believe. Io escaped with the win. Shayna Baszler beat the shit out of her. Yes, that's good booking, in my opinion.
Absolutely fantastic booking. And I think that was Io Sky being cheered, by the way, in this whole thing?
Yes, she was. She was. I did hear the cheers. Did you like how they're doing Carlito in Judgment Day? Because
all of a sudden he showed up.
All of a sudden he showed up, and he was backstage, and
like Lewis and Ghostbusters. Hey, what are you guys gonna do? What are you guys doing? I'm having a party. You guys want to come up? Like the little guy in Ghostbusters. Did you remember that? He would be included.
Yes, it's so great.
Yes, that's Carlito. Whoever's writing this shit for the Judgment Day is
here's
a
the
master class of plotting ahead. Who would have thought? Let's get Carlito in the Judgment Day. Who would have thought that?
I would not. But here's the thing. Damian Priest let it be known he wasn't welcome there.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, you can see he's becoming a face. You can see it coming. Week by week, episode by episode. Chad Gable had a segment where he's just going off on everybody in the back. I love this guy. I love this guy right now.
How great is Chad Gable?
He's so good. He's so good. And then we had a Lillian Garcia moment. I enjoyed that. They're in her hometown. She's there for the show.
Those girls. They put them both over. Samantha Irvin and Lillian Garcia. It was great to see her announce a match again. And you know how old Lillian Garcia is?
She's got to be 50. Is she in her 60s? No,
she's in her 60s.
Good for her, man. It was good to see her again.
She was in her 40s in her heyday, man.
It was good to see her again. She was there for a long time.
Yes, yes.
You had another R-Truth segment backstage. Kofi and Kingston, or Kofi's going to come out. Gunther versus... Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Look,
Kofi and Kingston, the men from Jamaica.
Be glad I'm still standing up straight.
You're doing great. You're sitting down, by the way, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm up straight.
You're sitting upright.
I've got enough cough syrup in my body right now to choke a small horse. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
The Gunther and Kofi match.
Aubrey Edwards. Enough to choke Aubrey Edwards. Come on, pal. Just let it go, pal.
Look, Gunther versus Kofi was entertaining. I thought I would see more chest chops, but you didn't, and we know why. Because we talked about that. We talked about that.
Yes, we have.
We know why now.
That medical condition.
You're not going to see him take a whole lot of those.
No, he's got Kofi chop-a-half-itis.
Yes, he really does, man.
Break him in half.
I do have one thing to say about this, man. Mm-hmm. The SOS move sucks. It looks like Kofi's taking the move every time he quote-unquote gives it. I can never figure out what this is.
Everything he does looks like it sucks. Everything he does. He should go down to NXT and just train people down at NXT to not suck. Don't do what I do. I just can't take it. I can't take it. The New Day, I can't take it. Turn them heels or add Omos. Well, turn them heels with Omos and MVP. They could be the New Day. And just go for it, man. You don't have to be comics. You don't have to be comedians. Be vicious pricks. But Kofi Kingston is not. He's not a credible heel. He's not
yet. Not yet, which I'm glad you said this, because we had a little backstage drama. We had a couple of girls call each other bitches, and I said, oh, we're getting right cunty in here. We're getting a little cunty. My boy, did you call me a bitch? I'll tell you what, if she calls her a bitch again, I'm coming over there. Oh, yeah, your mother's a whore. I want to cut a promo in like 4 voices at once one day.
That'd be funny as shit. That'd be amazing.
Anyway, I was like, oh shit, the PG era really is coming to an end. Cross came to Kofi Kingston, and you can see the wheels spinning. I thought that added something to Kofi that he needs. Call me crazy, that was it. Bronson Reed wins a squash match against Tozawa. They had a shitty 4-way, which I say shitty. It was a good four-way, though.
Oh, the four-way. I mean, I'm talking about Bronson Reed Tozawa.
I was interested. Anything that changes Kofi Kingston, I'm here for that, pal. I'm here for that.
Right.
The four-way was good, right? I enjoyed it.
Sure. Creed Brothers, great showing.
The Judgment Day winning it sort of added something interesting for me, to be quite honest. Because, you knew that R-Truth was an interim champion to begin with. Now it sort of solidifies. You're going down now.
But how would you book, hypothetically speaking, if it went the other way, The Miz and R-Truth versus the Authors of Pain? How would you book that match? You think Ron Killings wants to get his ass thrown around by those two green bastards? Good God Almighty! Hell no! Everything they do looks like it hurts, except for that move when they look like they're going to powerbomb a guy and they brush backs and drop him down. That looks like it does not hurt whatsoever. It's supposed to be devastating.
No, I agree with you there. I do.
Right. Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering, by the way.
By the way, I do have some concerns about this show. Zoe Stark versus Valkyria. Valkyria wins, and that's fine. She's a good wrestler. Zoe Stark, I'm starting to doubt is. Like, for real. I'm starting to doubt she's a good wrestler.
She's good when she's in there working with someone who knows what they're doing. If you put her in there with Ivy Nile from last week, it's going to be whiffs and spiffs. That's all it's going to be. And spliffs. If you put her in there with Lyra Valkyria, you can give a serviceable match out of her. But I don't know.
I had serious concerns about this, man. This did not look good for her. It was a lot of slow shit. It didn't really connect with me. Everything was coming from exactly. It wasn't good, man. It wasn't good. I'm going to get past this. Sami Zayn and Otis, you knew where this was going from the get-go. You know that Chad Gable's going to flip out. You know Otis is going to lose. I don't like when it's that predictable. I felt like they could have done something different. I'm going to keep moving on.
The story of that is selling the turn of Otis against Chad Gable.
No, I know. I know.
A month or two down the road.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't have to do it this goddamn obvious. Have Chad Gable interfere and cost Sami Zayn the match. Get Otis a surprise win where he's like, oh shit, Chad knows what he's doing. Like, that would have made more sense to me. Give me that. But no, we have to go by the tried and true bullshit fashion of 1990s WWE early booking where there's a clear baby face, there's a clear screw the guy out of the match. You're the heel.
It was a non-title match.
Yes, screw him out of the match.
Why wouldn't they do that? Right, but then by that argument you could say, well, why is it Otis going to be in the Intercontinental title match at the pay-per-view?
It doesn't.
Because he just beat Sami Zayn.
You're making the beef, brother, and you don't even know it. That's why Otis has an issue with Chad Gable getting the shot. He doesn't. I beat him. You didn't. You got the shot. I didn't. I've done everything you. This is why you book a show this way.
Exactly. And Maxine Dupree looked like someone shot her dog in the head last night.
Holy shit. J.D. McDonough warns Braun Strowman about interfering in their shit. And I just thought, is Funko Pop really trying to be a minister guy? Like, you're trying to be sinister.
Into the plans? How's that fall into the plan?
I have no idea. He's got to be tied in here somewhere. It feels like he's going to be in here somewhere challenging somebody in a tag team title type situation of some ilk that we don't understand yet.
Him and Ricochet again, they were a tag team before he got hurt.
Oh, dear God. Well, no, Ricochet's going heel. Ricochet's going heel.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Ricochet's going heel.
You got that vibe? Okay.
Yeah, last week it gave me the vibe. Becky Lynch and Dakota Kai, Liv, Lynch won, Liv came out, Morgan comes in, whatever bullshit, I don't care. Dragunov versus Jey Uso.
It set the internet wrestling community ablaze today.
It was a good match.
It was, a very good match. Considering Jey Uso was in the match.
Look, dude, and I wrote this down. I'm not even fucking kidding. Sorry. I'm not even kidding you. This is what I wrote. Can Jey even wrestle outside of a tag team at this point? It's the same shit, man, every time. It's a kick. It's a punch. You never see, it's an off the top rope moment. I can't handle Jey Uso in this element, man. He doesn't look like a singles competitor to me.
Let's go back to the Rock and Roll Express of years ago. And they would have a match. It was a textbook match.
Ricky Morton.
He would get beat the shit down by just kick the shit out of him by the heels for the entire match. Then he would make the hot tag to Robert Gibson, who would clean house. And then when both heels are in the ring, both of the Rock and Roll Express are in the ring doing the double drop kicks. And Gibson would pin somebody, and that'd be the end of the match. Jey Uso was Robert Gibson in the Usos matches.
He really is.
Jimmy was the Ricky Morton. Jimmy would they would start out strong. Jimmy would get beat down until he finally made the hot tag to Jay, which was super kick, spear, super kick, pin.
Top rope move. Pin.
Or top rope move, off the top to splash, pin. So that's all Jay knows. He can't put a match together. He cannot put a match together. And put him in there with Gunther, you'll get a good match out of Jey Uso. But you put him in there with any swinging dick off the street, and you're not going to get a good match out of him. Ilya Dragunov got a good match out of Jey Uso.
He did. Barely. The best he could get.
It was serviceable. It was serviceable. And Ilya Dragunov is a guy to watch. Now, what I would have done, personally, if I was booking that match, I would have had Gunther or Kaiser come out and interfere and cost Dragunov the match.
Because they have history. Because they have history.
Yes. And Uso could roll Dragunov up in a small package. Match is done. That would have been it.
And now you've got beef.
Kaiser. You got Kaiser and Dragunov.
Clash of the Castle. You've got beef.
You got a beef with Kaiser first. That could fill up a couple matches on Monday Night Raw throughout the weeks. And then Clash of the Castle, you got Gunther. Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov, and they can light that stadium up.
I give you an applause, Johnny. That's a great idea.
That's what they should have done. But I don't know if that was in the works. I don't know if that was what was planned because, again, another show that went all the way up through the overrun and right to when the copyright logo comes up on the screen. That's when you found out who won that match.
Yeah. So, look, Raw was good. I enjoyed it. Excuse me. It doesn't have a rating out yet. I'm going to guess it was a pretty strong show just because it was a strong open.
Right.
I enjoyed this show. We have one more thing to cover before we get the hell out of here.
I want to say one thing before you say anything else.
Penis.
I'm telling you right now.
Did he say penis?
He said, I'm telling you that everyone bitches when we shit on AEW. And they say, well, you always on AEW and Tony, you say WWE is good. You're just E-drones. We're not E-drones. We're bitching about WWE right now. Although WWE has a more professional product
and appeal and the wrestling matches
and a more professional crew.
Here's the difference. Well, here's the difference, right? SmackDown bored me. It didn't insult me as a fan. I didn't see 15 Canadian destroyers and no selling everything with a 150-pound douchebag. Anyway, I want to talk about this before we get the hell out of here because I don't want to give this a lot of time. The Sandman.
Oh. James Fullington.
Yeah, so a couple things here, right? I did not know the Sandman, his original gimmick was a surfer. I had no idea that's how he introduced himself as a pro wrestler was this. I thought the Sandman was a bitch that put you to sleep, not a Sting knockoff, because that's what it was. It was a Sting knockoff.
With no makeup. Yeah.
With no makeup.
Same colors, same haircut.
And his wife was his valet.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? What the shit?
A recipe for disaster right there. But.
Oh, if you know it's always going to go well with your old ladies escorting you to the ring. That's always going to go well.
Tell me about this show, Don. I didn't see it. I want to hear about this.
I'm going to hit the highlights.
Hit the highlights for me.
When he finally debuted at ECW, he showed up with the surfboard, and Paul Heyman said, "Is that your thing?" And he said, "Yeah." Paul Heyman told him, "That son of a bitch is getting broken over your head tonight. Guarantee you that." And that was his introduction to ECW. The surfboard got broken right over his head.
He was in the surfer outfit, I would assume, and then
yes, he was the total surfer
changed the
outfit.
whole outfit. Changed the whole outfit for the next
This
show.
is where it gets interesting.
Go
He
ahead.
shows up to a show and tells Paulie, who was Paulie Dangerously still then, not the lovable Paul we know today, but a piece of shit of a money mongering whore back then. Because God knows this guy sniffed enough people out of enough money.
Oh, he paid for his parents' house.
He shows up at the show and says, I forgot my wrestling boots. Paul Heyman said, I don't give a shit, and walked away. And that's when he said, he doesn't care. Well, I'm going out in this. I'm going to be myself then. And that was when the actual Sandman character was developed. The biggest thing about this guy was he said, I made sure my entrance was always different. I came from everywhere in the arena. So the fans had to look for me no matter what. Right. They had to find me, notice me. The spotlight was on me. And they talked about how there were times where he would guzzle 6 beers legit before he got to the ring and was shit-faced having a match. Pro wrestling.
Gotta love it.
He also, this is just, look, the guy obviously had complications in life. It was bad. It's not good. He had drug problems. He talked about how Raven had got a bad knee injury, and he had something he had to inject in his knee that he told Sandman, this shit will mess you up, pal. This will jack your mind up. Right. You don't want a full dose of this. I'll give you some of my narcotics. Right. Don't do a full dose. And Sandman's like, you pussy, I'll do anything I want. Injects it and begins to die in the car on the way to the next town. They drop his body off at the ER and scoot out of town like they just robbed the local Burger King.
What do you mean they dropped his body off at the ER?
Throw him out the car. Get him out the car. Get out. Because they were all high as the giraffe's ass. They couldn't handle this.
Holy shit.
He wakes up the next day in the ER on all kinds of shit, pulls everything out, and proceeds to walk out and go to the next show. His wife gets the bill that says resuscitation charge, $300, and was like, you fucking died? He was like, well, I wasn't going to bring it up.
What year was this?
That shit, man, like 95. That sums up the Sandman. Look, he's an ECW original. People chant that show today and have no clue what it means. They just think it sounds cool. ECW, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. You don't know shit about this company. You don't know shit about the original members. There are 4 guys to me that define ECW.
Right.
4.
Right.
Sandman's 1. Rob Van Dam's 2.
Right.
Tommy Dreamer and Sabu. Those are the 4.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the Dudley Boys were different because they were a tag team. So don't come at me with the bullshit.
Well, they were a huge faction. Big Dick Dudley, Sign Guy Dudley.
Yeah.
Spike Dudley.
Spike Dudley was a joke. Let's be honest. That fucking guy was a joke.
Chuck Dudley. He was the brother that went upstairs. Yeah. You never saw him again.
Chucking off Dudley.
Chucking off Dudley. He was the basketball player. Chuck Dudley.
That's
ECW.
what I got.
ECW and CM Punk are available tomorrow, I think, in 2K24.
What? Oh, are they really?
Yes,
I did see that. Oh, yeah, I did.
Together in one pack. I think it's Van Dam. It's CM Punk, of course. Both Dudleys. And another guy from ECW. I think it is the Sandman.
I did see something about this earlier. I'm excited to see this because I've got the game and I will clearly not be going to work. I'm going to just tell you guys, man, like you guys are why I did this tonight. You guys watching the stream. I came home today from work and about goddamn
blown out.
I slept for 3 hours, didn't know my wife got home. I was just done. So thank you all, man. I appreciate it. I'm taking grandma's cough syrup tonight. I took a COVID test. It is negative. So that's a good sign.
How about AIDS?
Come on, man. I've been married for 12 years.
Syphilis?
12-year marriage, Johnny. This is not Florida. I'm not riding around with different colored
loofahs. What
am I
thinking of? What am I thinking?
I don't have different colored loofahs on my hood.
You're right. Right.
Pink, blue, and purple. I want it all. I want it all.
Watch, take, give. Watch, take, give. There you go.
Guys, I want to thank everybody and gals. Thank you for watching tonight. I hope we entertained you. Thursday we'll be back.
You want to hit some rumors real quick before we get out of here?
No, let's just get to Thursday. Thursday we'll do rumors.
Let's just get to Thursday.
Well, what do you got on rumors that you can't wait?
Becky Lynch's contract is up at the end of the month.
Nope. Nope. I don't think that's true at all.
Maybe not.
I don't think it's true at all.
Maybe they already agreed. Who knows? Have you heard that the first SmackDown episode on the USA Network is going to be loaded to the gills?
I would imagine so, yeah.
September 13th. They're going to be showing movies that week.
Whoa. Did you say it's going to be in September?
September 13th. SmackDown debuts on the USA Network. I can only assume that's a Friday. I don't know what day of the week it is. Don't have a calendar in front of me right now. It's got to be a Friday.
So that means you're going to have SmackDown and Raw to close the year out.
Yes. You're going to have...
Oh, shit. That's cool.
You're going to have John Cena and Rock movies all week, and Peacock's recent Bray Wyatt documentary will be on the USA Network. For people who do not have Peacock, you can see that then.
How fast is Peacock going to get dropped? I'm not even bullshitting. How many subscribers do you think dropped Peacock that week? I'm not bullshitting.
Let's see. The WWE Network back in the day had a peak of, I think, 7,000 subs. It was, 7 million subs.
Yeah, 7 million.
It wasn't 7 million. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't superhuman. But
no, it's not huge, but that's a lot of pay-per-view buys, man, because they beat their chest on a million fucking buys, right? Mm-hmm. So you fast forward to January with Netflix, pal, I'm out.
Right. Absolutely. The WWE is maintaining the experiment of starting premium live events at 7 p.m. Eastern. And this is according to PW Insider, a site that I believe. The move to Sundays that UFC boss Dana White recently spoke out about might not necessarily be for all WWE shows, but could just be for occasional TKO weekends where they run Power Slap on Friday, UFC on Saturday. That's a thing. And WWE on the same day in the same city on Sundays. So they're talking about
Larry,
entire
what's the
weekend
Brave
of all
score?
those.
Larry, I need the Brave score, pal. Look,
that's all I got, Don. Bobby Lashley's hurt. We know that. And Kenny Omega's
look, I want to talk about Bobby. That really hurts my heart, man. That hurts so bad.
That he got hurt?
Dude, it's just every time he gets momentum, some bullshit happens.
Because they were building up for the Carmelo Hayes Bobby
Yes,
Lashley
they really
feud.
were. Yes. Why, man? Why?
Well, they can still have it when he gets healed up. The man is 48 years old, I believe, 47 years old, and he's enormous. Lifts weights.
Jesus Christ! I hope I look like that in 2 years.
Like a fiend. There you go. What are you sampling there? A little vodka?
Grandma's cough syrup because it's been a long day.
I had an edible and maybe about this much rum.
Well, so did your dog. So
and so did my dog. And the rest was Rain Orange Dreamsicle energy drink. Rain, sugar free, and it kept me going here through the podcast.
Look, here it is. Thank you for watching, guys and gals. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends we are just wrestling fans and we own it. Unlike these other son of a bitches, we own it when we're wrong, and we led the show off with it. Because Dave Meltzer will just tell you plans change. We'll say, hey, we've got really good listeners that said, hey, man, here's what actually happened. And we're like, oh, shit. All right. Thank you for letting us know. We're going to change this right now.
Right.
Love you
Absolutely.
guys, man. Thank you so much. Please like and
Don't, for-
subscribe.
don't forget a little ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling.
Little
down
ring.
below. Little notification for us, and you know, it's a good thing, Don. It's a good thing. I'm glad you.
I
made it through the
appreciate
show,
them all.
pal. Glad you made it through the show.
You know
Anything
who's
else?
a
Do we have anything
Nope.
else?
I know who was a big fan of us tonight. He would have enjoyed it.
Oh, he would never miss an episode.
Exactly.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.